Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. I generally want to talk about skills that I know will give you advantage when you come. Like when you get to Malta, some of the things you can just do that would increase the opportunities of getting job faster. And so this is what I wish to talk about. But before we dive right into the details, let me say welcome to my channel. Um, Okay, I don't think I'll be wasting much time. If you notice from the background, you see that what I have here it's me not staying indoor, like the normal type videos I do, where I would have to be sitting in one place in my room or the parlor. I choose to also do this one somewhere called, this it's kind of breezy here. I'm a little afraid. I don't want this thing to just fall off. Okay, I'm in a place called somewhere random Cedar, and I decided to shoot the videos around the place after having a haircut. Now, talk about the skills that you really can, probably explore. Come here, short skills, things that you can do, and then that will facilitate or help you get jobs related to the skills faster, and settling down won't be much of an issue. I discovered from one or two things, or one or two persons I also talked to, and the one I did myself, that they will really help you no matter what you choose to learn. It won't be a waste. First of all, I will go into talking about that of. I think I did that. I mentioned that in one of my previous, one of my videos, talking about bike riding and driving. Truly, it has its own advantage, a lot of advantage attached to that. If you get here, let's say you can't really ride, you don't know how to drive, and you don't know how to ride a bike. So that shouldn't be a problem. Don't worry. This is one of the skills you will learn that will not really be a waste. In my new place, my apartment mate, it's also from India, and is into this boat and wood food I mentioned in my one of my videos. And I really, when I was asking, how do you go about learning this thing if you don't have any knowledge about how to ride or bike and stuff? He was able to say there are a whole lot of places where you can learn that. So I think what I'm not doing research on that, I'm probably looking for address to start sending to you. But if you get here, let's say you find your way here in Malta, and as a student, these are one of the things you can also do while you're processing your document and looking for opportunities or part-time jobs opportunity. You can plan this ahead before coming. Have some little change with you added to your living expenses or living budget rather. Then get here, look for one of the schools where you can learn how to ride bike. They will teach you. As soon as you're done, you perfect, process your license. It's never really gonna be a waste. I'm telling you this. As soon as you're done and you have the skills, the knowledge on how to go about it, with time you look for all these agencies that are ready to recruit you. And because I keep seeing related vacancies too, if you're a rider, boat, you're looking for people. There are some companies that are even looking for delivery persons, and you will need to know how to drive or ride a bike, a motorcycle. So you know these are some nice jobs too that fetch you based on the delivery, the activities you render on a daily basis. And it's also one of the trending common, I will call it one of the trending common jobs in Portugal. And in fact, the way Portugal branded its own is that people can even use what is it called, a bicycle, to also engage in these food delivery services. Apart from the motorcycle, you can also use a bicycle in Portugal, but for here, I don't think so. But I think it's majorly all these bicycle where you can get an electric bikes and all of that. I think I dwell much on that. And number two, it's also relating to that, which is learning how to drive. Is key. You know you can never, it's never going to be a waste, whether it was based on a job requirement you found or not. As soon as you can drive, maybe back home before you get here, or you don't even know how to drive at all, don't worry, because even if you can drive before you get here, there is still this thing you have to do. You need to register with a driving schools, probably take one or two lessons since you're already experienced in driving. You just take maybe one or two lessons. So they would, there are probably what they had to judge or recommendation. So they will definitely state that, oh, you can drive. From there, you apply for your license and get it. But from my findings, I wouldn't, quote me if I'm wrong, or you put that in the comment section. But from my findings, I discovered that at least once you get it, you will need to stay at least, I think it's 185 days before you can start processing license for driving. So you need like 165 days. That simply means at least you need to have stayed here for 6 months before you start talking about driving license and all those stuffs. Or just prepare your mind. This skills really helps a lot. It will not be a waste. Now, in terms of I have to learn bike or learn how to drive the processing license, which might seem to take a longer period, you can as well go for something like forklift, and everybody know how useful that is in factories and warehouse company that have warehouses or that are into supplies and all that with all those things. So you really know that going to be useful. In fact, I have a coursemate who, when we got him, a couple of few weeks, I would say a month or two or so when we got him, I think I learned that from him. Eventually, he told me there were two. They went for this course, forklift training, and from what they said, it was like around 2000. Sorry, take that back. From what they said, I think it was around 200 euros, including the license, to operate a forklift, including the license, both the training and the licensing. So it was around 200 euro. So imagine when they came that one, I don't think you need to wait 1 or something days, whatever, before they did that almost. The practice, and they were two. Immediately after their training, luckily for one of them, the man who trained them on it sent a message to one out of the two of them, sent a message of a job opportunity, I think in form of retaining him after training. He sent him a message that he would like to retain him to assist him in training other people. So eventually got a job immediately after that. So it happens that way. It's not like hyping, so say it happens. Okay. So that one is also one of these strong skill things you can take. And imagine you find yourself in companies like Coca-Cola and in other places, and you have opportunities to just say these are the things you can do. So you know how useful or relevant it will be in their factory or in the warehouse. So don't also joke to that. It's very strong. That's, I think, number three kind of skills I've mentioned there. Then apart from that, the fourth one is security. And it's funny. It's funny, it's funny like the way people say it back, particularly Africans. Let me use Nigeria as a yardstick now. Nigeria as an example. I have a whole lot of experience when it comes to security, both statics and aviations. Okay. Now, you would not even really be proud of saying you're a security officer if you're, let's say, looking at Nigeria now, my home country. One, because probably the way people don't really give it that kind of respect it deserves back home then. It started with the idea of make guard, then they start introducing, you kind of have educations, have a educational background, trainings and all those stuff. But yet, I think it's something people will not really be proud of saying or telling their friends that, hey, they're a security officer, stuff like that. So it is kind of downgraded. So when you do it and you see somebody wearing a security uniform in some of other places, they don't really get that nice pay. It's ridiculous the kind of pay they get. So that's how it's been treated back home. But I tell you for a fact, Coming abroad, coming in particular here, also in Malta, and I've also know, I can tell you also when it comes to the same skills like professions in Canada and even in US, most developed countries like this, it's regulated, respected. It's a professions that require licensing. You must be trained and you must have a license before you can even come out to say you are a security officer because it involves skill, that skills, strategies. It involves, your strategic, exposure, intelligence. So you cannot just come in and say, wow, this is another beautiful skills that I really think it can go faster. I will give you the stories, a kind of illustration all from my own experience regarding that here in Malta. If you get in, you need like 80 euros, around 80 euros. I wouldn't say as at now, as at when I'm doing this, I would say 80 euros for you to go through the training. And at least that should be is the number of hours that you have to be trained for. And basically, it's always 2 days, maybe 20 hours in each day, 40 hours if you are doing the major, the primary course, not like the security service course, the fresh one. You go for something like security service course in Malta. Once you're done with the training, you cannot practice or you cannot be employed or work with any security company until you are licensed by the police stations to do so. This simply means you need to go to their police station in Floriana to apply for your license to work as a security officer. And it takes basically 8 weeks for the license to be issued. So, right, you paid around 22 euro or so thereabout for it. Okay, I did that. I have to tell the partner, I did that. So they have experience like that, I did that. Then after my during the time when I was on training and all this stuff, I think I came out as the top, and the few tests we were given, I came out top. All right. Then I was trying to change accommodation and all those stuff. So I was waiting until I get a new apartment, try to get a document for the new apartment before I go to the police station. So I don't go and present myself and look somehow like someone who is not legally abiding to the rules, saying why is the address on your card different from your new place, all this stuff. So unknown to me that you can actually go there even with the old address on your resident card and probably with the new document of your new house and explain to them you are working on changing your address. So I wasted about 2 3 months. I just recently applied for the card because I did the training around March. I recently applied for the card. Now that delay kind of not give me good stuff that I was expecting because, or what would I say, unfortunately, I was waiting until I get the card before I start looking for jobs in that field. And unfortunately, the trainer reached out to me and I was saying if I've been able to get a job as a security officer. I said no. And she was telling me that one of her clients was looking for someone and she just remembered me and wanted to recommend me to the client. And do you have the license now? I said, no, I'm just planning to apply for it. That's where the whole thing, that's where I messed up. So not having the license on time messed the whole plan up. If not, I would have probably gotten a job in that field from the recommendation of the trainer. So that is how it really can happen. Since it's something that is respected and it's a profession that would even have to go through screening, like your criminal background, and all that will be checked. That means something you shouldn't find a shame to let people know. You cannot even just go into the field like that. So it's respected. It's a respected profession here. Anything that has to do with licensing, you should know it's respected in that way. So you can also grow. The kind of hours I would love to, gain work experience on and stuff, I would have been able to achieve that if I'm doing that role. So these um are the skills that can help you get this what we call surviving job. But for me, that I don't like using that language any longer. What I know as common jobs, and I can even fetch you good salary. And I think time will come. I will do a video talking about these common jobs and those that can earn you a good hourly rate when time comes. But for now, let me stop here, and I hope you really find it interesting and you learn one or two things from this video. Until we meet in my next video, I'll say bye for now.